Folks, on tonight's update I want to show you it's been a very productive evening. I've used the jig and drilled and tapped two holes in the back head, that 1032 holes that I could use to bolt it down. I realized I didn't really need to make a new plug. The plug just centered in the pipe tap hole, so I used the existing plug and went ahead and the existing jig. It looks different now because I had to cut away and grind away part of it, so you can, as you can see it, so you can clear the weld. I didn't feel like grinding all that weld flat on top of the boiler, but I ground and cut the jig away, and it worked fine. I had the two that were the 1032, the number 10 hole, clearance hole, and then the two that are the number 21 hole that were used for the tapping holes. And as you can see, I don't know if you can make it out, well, I'll keep rotating this is the 5/8 tap that I'm tapping. I'm pulling it out. I'll do another update in just a few minutes, basically, once I get the jig removed, so I can show you the finished threads and everything. But this went very well. I did drill the jig out, drilled it out to 37/64 at first, so that I could progressively drill the boiler, the hole out in the back of the boiler. And as mentioned earlier, when you're doing this, you want to have the boiler strapped down. You can see this yellow tie-down strap. You want, because it'll torque, it'll rotate, and you don't want it flying around on you. So sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Rotate this while I pull tape the video and pull the tap out left-handed. You can see the Crisco on there. It's pretty effective at catching the chips. This is probably the third time I've run the tap through there. I wipe it off, get it completely clean before each try. Put a little bit of Crisco on there for the next threading exercise. So anyway, that's what we got so far. I just wanted to point out one more thing. Lay that down. I did keep one corner square on the jig, and that's important if you're going to make a jig like this, because you need to take this back to your milling machine vise. I used this side to orient along the fixed jaw, and I left the machine set at 0, so I could successively drill. As I mentioned, it was 9/16 for the hole in the front of the boiler. Then I had to enlarge it, the 37/64 for this hole, because it needed to be tapped out, the 5/8 and just before tapping I removed it again, and I drilled out the hole 5/8 all the way through. And as Fred instructed me, and he's quite correct, the taps are greater than the outside diameter of the tap is greater than 5/8 of an inch. So I don't know if you can see the lip, but I drilled about halfway down with the next size up. I think it's, oh, here it is right here. Let me see. 20. No, that's the 5/8. I drilled halfway down with a 21/32 drill to give a little bit more clearance, and it worked perfectly for aligning the tap. And it's nice, when you got a tap this big, that you need a tap handle this big as your hand, going through 1/4 inch steel, you want to have a nice straight perpendicular. You don't want to be worried about alignment as you're well, at least I didn't anyway want to be worried about that. So I'm very pleased. I'll do another video tonight in just a couple minutes showing the rear throttle that inside the tapped hole that I just made. And the next big thing I'll be working on, I need to drill and tap a hole for the bottom of the water sight gauge there, and then I'll be done with I think all of the drilling and tapping operations on the boiler. I'll need to weld some bands across it for the jacket, and and weld a nut up front there for the front dome. So that's tonight's update. Hopefully I'll have one more showing you the rear throttle mount in just a few minutes.